All right, so I have a little bit of a different Devo this morning. So as many of you know, if not all of you know, I am a huge Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And so Ben Roethlisberger has a podcast now that he does with a best friend of his from his church that he attends. And for all you Steeler fans watching, it's called Footballing with Roethlisberger, so check it out. But anyway, the last couple episodes ago, he was talking about the interaction he had with his son. So he went to put his son down, and his son, he has 3 kids, so they're like 10 or 11 and 8 and then a younger one. And so he goes in to tuck the older son in bed, and the son says, "Dad, I think it's being the oldest is unfair." And so he's a little bit taken back, and he says, "Well, what do you mean?" And he says, "Well, earlier today I threw an airplane and it hit Bodie in the eye, and he was laughing about it, but then he went and told you, and he was crying about it." And he said, and Ben said, "Well, did you get in trouble for it?" He said, "No, but I thought I might get in trouble for it." And so he said, you got to stop thinking about the negatives of things. And if you spend your whole life and time thinking about all the negatives, then you'll miss out on the positives. And he said, "Remember, you didn't talk about last night when you got to stay up late than everyone else to watch the football game. And you and I went to Georgia to play golf, and you got to have pizza and all this whole thing. You did all these things, but everyone else had to stay back." And so he said, you can spend your life focusing on the negatives and looking at the things that you don't have and what everyone else might have, and you miss out on the things that you do have. And I thought that is such a profound statement, because how many of us go and we look at what everyone else has, and we look at everything that's unfair, and we miss the things that we have right in front of us. And so when I think about this, I was thinking, wow, what do we have that we just kind of overlook and just think about? And let's just talk about it for a second. I mean, 1, you woke up this morning. 2, you have a place to sleep. You have food to eat. You have clothes on your back. You have a car to drive. You have a job to go to, even though you might complain about it. But look at the positive. You have a job that brings you income, and there are a lot of people that don't have a job. And all you have to do is just drive down the street and see all the people living without a home. And you have to sit there and say, thank God I have what I have. And most of all, you have Jesus. When you look at a lot of people that are living in blindness and darkness that don't have the Lord, you have that. And so I say, live in the moment. Be present. One of the things that happened this week, when a family member of ours, their little girl, fell out of a 3-story house, landed on the driveway, and now she's in the hospital, critical care. They don't know if she's going to make it or not. And there's a lot of things going on. But there's so many things that you have in your life, and your life can change in an instant. And a lot of times we say, oh, I can't wait for X, Y, or Z. Those are dangerous words, because you're living for something that may come, that may not come, but missing out on what is right there. Especially when from a parent's perspective, you're like, oh, I can't wait till I can sleep through the night, or I can't wait until I can do X, Y, or Z. At least for me personally, when I look back on it, I was like, man, I wish I had one more day when they were just that little, and I can do all this. If I had one day, I would do this, I would do that. And so we have to take what's now, be in the now. Sometimes we get caught up in being on our phone and doing everything, and I'm having to learn myself, be in the now and take advantage, because it will be gone one day. Amen? And we don't want to look back and say, man, I wish I would have. I wish I would have. Those are dangerous words in life. I wish I would have. So live in the present, be in the now, focus on the positives that you have in life, because what you have is very, very good. Amen? Amen. Amen.